What is up, you little gooners? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to take you through a raw arm workout. This is an arm workout that basically grew my arms pretty much an extra 2 inches, which if you ask me, that's humongous. That's a tremendous amount of size. 2 inches is all you need. Anything bigger than that is way too big. But yeah, this year I grew my arms a ton, and it's because of this one arm workout that I've been following for the entire year. I'm going to take you through the entire workout, tell you everything I think about to make the most out of every exercise. You don't need anything special. All you need is cables, maybe some dumbbells, and a bench, and you can do this exact workout anywhere, at any gym, okay? So I'll take you through, tell you about everything that I think about, how I execute the movements, and yeah, just share all the tips I know. Got my EHP Labs pineapple electrolytes. I'm going to start with lateral raises. I'm going to warm up with a quick light set first, using around half my weight, maybe 5 or 6 reps, and then jump into 2 heavy sets, and that's it. That's all we're doing, basically the same formula for everything. Shoulders, biceps, triceps, two triceps, 1 bicep, because I did a bit more bicep during the week, and we're gonna hit some forearms instead of extra bicep. So 2 triceps, 2 shoulders, 1 bicep, 1 forearms, and some rear delts. Then some abs and cardio. $65 kgs, and we're going to put everything into these next 2 sets. Quality over quantity. Keep the intensity high, but I don't want to push too far past or too close to failure all the time, every single workout. But for my side delts though, I do find I can do that a little bit more often and recover still, so we'll give it a shot. So, what I've been doing for side delts, it's pretty simple. 2 to 3 times per week frequency. And if I do hit it 3 times per week, I'm feeling good. I don't go as heavy on that 3rd day, because 3 intense days, well, that's where it starts getting a little bit iffy and harder to recover from. Especially if you're in a deficit like me, which I have been for a while. So I play it by ear, take it intuitively on that 3rd day. If I'm not feeling good, sometimes I'll even just do 1 set and call it. Just get some blood flow, biceps, triceps, same idea, up to 3 times per week frequency, but the higher frequency you go, right, the harder it is to recover. So you have to be careful of that, and you learn that over time. Although most likely if you're a beginner, intermediate level lifter, which most people are, to be honest, then you probably won't have too hard of a time with recovery. And if your weight's going up every few weeks, then you don't really need to overthink it. Don't worry about it. Your fatigue management, recovery management doesn't need to be that precise. Just train as hard as you can, train more, and see if you can recover from that. And then if you're not recovering, if you're not getting stronger over time, then you can take a step back and reassess. But you're better off doing a little bit more volume initially, taking the time, putting in the reps, practicing the movements. All right, here we go, set number 2. That was failure for sure, because I noticed I was starting to swing my body a little bit just to move the weight using momentum. That's a sign. All right, not much to say about these. Some basic tricep extensions. Also, you don't need this fancy attachment either. This, it's called a Vulcan grip. You don't need this. You just need basic ropes. But if you can get your hands on something like this, it's pretty good. Allows you to use a little bit more range of motion. Just because of its flexibility, the rope is a little bit short. I lean forward slightly, almost do sort of a mild crunch because it stabilizes me, and then I lock my elbows in place slightly in front of me. And then from that position, you should feel very stable, and then you just literally just push down and try to lock out your triceps. As I do it, I'm mindful of my elbow position, keeping them in the same spot. All right, so first set was just kind of a slight warm up. We're gonna go a little heavier just to challenge ourselves now that I have the form nice and locked. Okay, so I'm gonna go quite a bit heavier, and we're gonna go for fewer reps, maybe 6 reps. And there might be a bit of form breakdown here, but the point is to challenge ourselves and get stronger, so that's okay. We'll refine that with the first set as kind of a practice set, and the second set is where you push the intensity and challenge yourself. So going for 5 to 6 here ideally. Let's go. Same thing, lean forward, I stick my butt out a little bit. Okay, step back. And then once I feel stable, bring my elbows into position, and here we go. You'll know you're challenging yourself when you feel instinctively like you want to engage other muscle groups during the exercise. Like there, I was squeezing my forearms, gripping it as hard as I could to get the last few reps out. Exercise number 2, we're gonna do some biceps. But don't be fooled by this fancy looking machine. You can replicate this with just any old bench. It's basically a sort of just like another preacher curl variation where you just have your arms rested against something to get stabilization, okay? And dumbbells is fine too, man. Just put a bench in front of you, put your arm under it, and you have this exact machine without paying a bunch of money for an expensive fancy gym. All right, 2 sets. First set. So I'm putting my finger on the bicep. So I want to emphasize that squeeze at the top. Come on. All right, I'm gonna stop there because we have one more set. I don't want to completely destroy myself on the first set. Get some blood in there first. I think I got around 8 to 10 on that. So same thing, left hand. All right, so it is slightly lighter weight than I would normally use. That's why it's closer to 10 reps, but it's a little bit easier on the tendons, you know, because like I said, I'm hitting arms pretty frequently. So you don't want to always go heavy, otherwise that's gonna tear your shit. And just kidding, actually. As a natty, you are very unlikely to tear your stuff. Okay, all those Instagram videos where you see someone tearing a muscle off their bone, that's unlikely to happen to you. So don't worry. If you're natty, you better be natty. Come on. And yeah, so since it was lighter weight as well, I could really focus on feeling the contraction. And feeling the weight or feeling the muscle work doesn't necessarily mean it's going to grow more. But it is a good indication that you're doing the exercise right. You're getting the most out of the exercise is when you feel a nice pump. Not that complicated. Yeah. And I have noticed before, especially on dumbbells, when there's less stability, you can very easily use a lot more front delt engagement. All it takes is a very slight move forward with your elbows, and suddenly you're engaging your front delts. And that can help you lift a lot more weight, and you're not necessarily getting more stimulus on the bicep, and you're tiring yourself out on the front delts. It's going to affect your recovery throughout the week, and you're just taxing yourself in the same workout by working multiple muscle groups for no reason. So that's the reason why strict form and just kind of feeling it out with lighter weight is necessary. But yeah, my arms are really, really small. I would say probably my biggest weakness last year. So this year, they're finally caught up to everything else, I would say. And one of the things I did was dropped my ego. I stopped going quite as heavy, at least not all the time. So I could work and refine my form and then apply that new strict form to heavyweight as well as lightweight sets. So that took me a lot further than just lifting as much as possible. All right, set number 2. Gonna put my finger on the bicep again, feel it working. Yeah, even on this machine, I felt my front delt engaged because I was instinctively moving my elbow forward closer to failure. So it's very hard to remain strict on your form. And if you do have some form breakdown, it shouldn't be on your first 1 to 6 reps. It should be on the very last couple of reps right before failure, complete failure. That's a sign that you're doing the set right. So if it's before that, then you got to drop the weight. All right, here's another excessively fancy machine that you don't really need. You can replicate this in any gym with just cables and the V-bar attachment. So nothing fancy about this. Just some overhead tricep extensions. Go all the way down. So near the end there, you'll notice that I kind of braced, and that's because I was approaching failure. And resetting your breath is one little small trick that you can use to up the intensity near the end of your set, or make sure you hit the reps. Okay, next, we're gonna hit some forearms. I use the same attachment. Pretty sure you can just use a straight bar in most gyms if you don't have this. But then I just mimic arm wrestler training with cables. So I pull back, and literally it's like an arm wrestling setup. You can look that up if you're not familiar with that. And lock your elbow in place. I might even put my hand here. And then all I'm doing is curling my wrist inwards and towards me. And you'll feel your forearms, this entire portion of your arm, will get engaged. Come on. Do 8, switch arms. Same thing on the other side. So personally, my forearms have been pretty damn small, and growing them this year has really added to the appearance of my arms, especially because it fills in that bicep gap that everybody has, or most people have, right here between your forearm and your bicep. So it makes a big difference to the appearance of your arms. Okay. So I actually see a lot of people doing this exercise wrong, and that's face pulls. People pull from high to low. I like pulling from low to high to get that external rotation, get an extra benefit from the exercise because it'll improve your rotator cuff health, which will carry over to your pressing. So low to high, back double by. So for this set, I'm gonna roll my sleeves up, even though it looks weird, just to show you how it works, how I'm working my rear delts on this. Speaking of which, they're pretty sore from RDLs, from Romanian deadlifts somehow, but we're still gonna hit them. Second set here, just rested around 2 minutes. And to initiate, first I pull the weight, let my arms hang, and then I'm leaning back here. So you'll see I'm kind of leaning back, not really using any muscle here at this point. I'm leaning back, and then from there I retract my shoulder blades and then just pull towards my ears and up and over my ears as if I'm doing a back double bicep pose. So all that together. Okay, so my mic died there, but as you can see, my rear delts of just those 2 sets are popping out a ton, and it adds a huge 3D effect to your delts. And one of the best things I ever did was started doing face pulls with this technique years and years ago. It really did add that capped look to my shoulders that made me stand out on social media in 2025, which is very difficult to do because now there are some incredible physiques all over the place. It's just becoming more and more common with how much knowledge is out there. If you made it this far, please drop a like in the comments. I love you, Gooners and Goonettes. I'll see you next time, whenever that is, which is pretty soon. I have some life events coming up. My friends are getting married, so I'll be filming some of the wedding footage just to document it. I'm also going to Miami for the Young LA block party, so I'll be vlogging that as well. I've been cutting because I'm going to be showing up and standing next to some insane physiques, some of the top physiques in social media today, natural physiques as well as enhanced ones. So I had to look my best. That's why I look kind of gaunt right now. So because I've been kind of starving myself for this event. But then after that, I'm going to go into a reverse diet and document that entire process as well. So yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Peace out.
We're going to Jimmy's progress.